Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health stress for January 22nd, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. We also maintain a storefront, Patient Weather, on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our Patient Weather storefront do support the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for January 22nd, shows massive influx of high pressure from central Canada, basically Arctic chilly air covering 2/3 of the nation. There is an active cold front, or will be, from Bangor down to Charlotte, all the way back to Shreveport, and a massive dose of that cold air flowing all the way across the country. Still a little bit of activity about the Great Lakes, and then lake effect snow here in northeastern portions of New England. Note we have a lot of unsettled weather across the front in the southeast. That's both ahead and along that frontal position. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of the individual weather elements that can give some difficulties, and we see we have a little bit of activity down here in West Texas and Oklahoma, but the massive area of activity stretches from Montana all the way into the basically Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio Valley, all the way to western Pennsylvania. Still have a little bit of activity pulling away here in Maine, and note some unsettled weather, possibly even sort of convective weather here in the southeast. Looking at pressure change, and this will be the dominant activity for the day and get even bigger on Friday. We have rising pressure from Montana across the Dakotas, down the Mississippi Valley from Minnesota through Iowa into Missouri, picking up Wisconsin and Illinois and all of the northern Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, Michigan, all the way over to Ohio into western Pennsylvania. Falling pressure trying again to develop down here in West Texas and Oklahoma, and falling pressure still pulling away from New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Temperatures, of course, is the story of the day and really the week, as the cold temperatures are invading from Montana through the Dakotas, across the upper Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes, even pushing down into the Ohio Valley, and we'll be getting even further south on Friday. A little bit of warming here in Maine, but it'll be going away shortly. Dew point temperature change reflecting the same issue, with lots of falling dew point temperatures in the north, rising dew point temperatures here in West Texas and Oklahoma, and that touch down here in the Carolinas and Georgia. Vapor pressure holding and doing much the same. Looking at the change in oxygen availability for the atmosphere, we have a risk of migraine across the north, Montana through the Dakotas, all the way south into Kansas, and then from Missouri north all the way through Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, West Virginia, western, really half of Pennsylvania, and upstate New York. We will have a risk of asthma and arthritis, spottily across the four corners, more significantly in Texas and Oklahoma, significant from Alabama, Mississippi, right into the Carolinas. Still that risk up the entire state of Florida. And note we're picking up that risk of asthma and arthritis again in New Hampshire and Maine. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. And if you hurt, let us know where you're located.